Hello, friends. Robert Pepin here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West. And today we will be ranking every single one of the spells that do psychic damage in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There are a couple of my favorites in here.
Excellent. The list is all-encompassing. There will be some that are, I think there's a handful that have multi-damage, but Psychic is less than most of the others. I think Absorb Elements isn't on this list. I don't think Elemental Bane's on this list. It's going to be a fairly unique video compared to the rest of the Ice and Cold and Fire, all those ones.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how many there are, actually. I didn't think psychic damage was that prevalent in the game, but yeah.
People love this thing. A lot of them are expanded because a lot of the psionic stuff that was in the works. I think my theory is there was a psionics book in the works, but there wasn't enough total content to ship it as its own independent thing.
So they just never stopped them before.
It's true. Well, they released then Soul Knife and the Fighter one and a couple other subclasses and some psychic spells, and that kind of does the psionics well enough, So.
All right. Well, here we go. On with the list. All right, we are going to start this list off with a Chaos Bolt.
It is funny that I preface to be oh, there's a bunch of unique ones here. You know where it goes. Yeah, you're right there. D tier.
D, yeah.
It's Chromatic Orb, but worse in almost every possible way. It just usually doesn't jump, and then you're sad because you did less damage and you didn't even get to pick the type. So even if you wanted a psychic damage spell, this doesn't give you that.
D4 does something.
Technically, yes.
Yes. All right, we've covered Chaos Bolt enough. Dissonant Whispers. Now
we're onto some actual fun spells. I think this deserves a B. I've come up on Dissonant Whispers a lot. For the longest time, I'm it's single target, it's damage, it's whatever. The damage is good enough. And then the fact that it's just one save or they have to sprint away from you for a first level slot, it's first level, 3d6 damage, they have to run away from you. That's pretty awesome. There's going to be a lot of actual utility baked into this. I think Bards in particular, if this were a Wizard exclusive or a Sorcerer exclusive, I'd be a lot lower on it. But Bards need this kind of effect. They need some way to do damage. This will do it. And it does a cool effect alongside the supportive kit the Bards are working with, right?
Yeah, I mean, for this effect, you said this is a first level spell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd take less damage for that. That's
yep.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm glad it's there.
I have a working theory that if you see a spell that just causes anything to have to move, you just immediately bump it up 12 notches in your brain. I need this on my sheet. It's so powerful, or at least so fun.
Just moving. All right, moving. Yeah, I do keep coming back to that a lot. But I mean, other effects as well. It's got an effect that does something that I might find useful.
Sure.
And it's worth it for that for me. I'm glad it also does damage, but yeah.
This is even something that I think a Great Old One Warlock or two will consider taking just because when you're in the low tiers, it's fine. You don't want to cast it at 5th level, but that's okay. You got other things to do at that point.
Yeah. All right. Next is Feeble Mind.
I hate this spell. I really do think it deserves D tier, an honest D tier, just because most things that it's good at, most things that it can hit, don't care to be feeble-minded. Feeble-minding a Kraken doesn't make any difference whatsoever, because Kraken is still just a thriving mass of destruction. And when a player gets feeble-minded, yeah, but if you do it on the 26 Lich, they're just going to pass the save. So it doesn't work on the targets you want it to work on, right?
I mean, what level spell is this?
8.
Oh, yeah. All right, that's not working in his favor.
Let me double check. It might be a 7. The internet's taking a while, otherwise I would have had that answer concretely. But Feeble Minds, yeah, 8th level enchant. 8th level enchant.
Oh, D feels rough, but I can see your point there.
It's 46 psychic damage and turns someone's in and charisma scores to 1. It exists to be brutal on players and has very, very, very fringe applications outside that on player character sheets.
Yeah, and plus, going back to Dissonant Whispers, I really like the fantasy in there. Don't like Feeble Mind so much.
I think in a non-cooperative game, it's interesting, right? In a in an environment where you're talking like fantasy and writing, or you're doing grand big novelizations and storytelling, there's something to be had for this horrible lobotomy like effect. Not whenever I'm playing a chill game with drinking some beers with my dudes. Like, that's not, I don't want to handle what Feeble Mind is dishing out.
All right, moving on, we have Maddening Darkness.
Maddening Darkness is a weird little spell. So the problem with it that I tend to come back on is it just, well, for the class at home, this is another 8th level spell. So this one fills a 60-foot radius area in darkness. It spreads around corners. Things with dark vision can't see through it. Non-magical light, as well as electrified by spells of 8th level or lower, can't illuminate it. And then things in the area that start their turn that make a whiz save or take 88 damage. So for the most part, it's just 88 damage in an area that blinds things. It's just really expensive for some effects you can definitely get in other places cheaper, so I have a hard time getting super hyped about it, but it's fine. This is probably like a solid C of a spell, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does significant damage, and
Yeah.
yeah, there are going to be times when you'll want to blind a bunch of people or a big area. It's
I will put
yeah, certainly, but C is right.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's definitely above Chaos Pulp.
Yeah, it gets a lot better if you can figure out ways to like firmly lock things down in it or have an ace energy built into it, right? Plant growth and stuff obviously come to mind. And it also gets a lot better if like you can find ways to break the parity with like Devil's Sight and stuff, right? So
Right.
as a 8th level, what's the word? The Warlock upper tier spell casting, this can be, I think, a decent option for you if you're on a Devil's Sight build or something.
Yeah. All right, what do we got next? Mental Prison.
This spell doesn't need to exist, I don't think. So
This is
it's
the one where that you saw you caused an illusion of their fears around them, right?
yeah, it's a 6th level spell. One creature makes an int save or takes 5 to 10 psychic damage, and then you make the area around it appear dangerous in some way.
Right.
And then it either takes 10 to 10 damage if it opts to move through the illusion, or
Or if somebody else moves it through the illusion.
yes. This is a spell that I'm so iffy on. I still have not seen it played at the table. I don't think I ever will, unless you just somehow get past 13th level Bob. I don't think that's ever going to happen at any table you're playing at. But it's like a 6th level effect for 15d10 damage or a worse version of banishment, and like I can get these if I want a lot of damage, I can get it cheaper, and if I want a lot of like CC, like crowd control, I want to take someone out of the thing, I can get it cheaper. It's still like good enough at both though that it's probably still fine. It's probably a C. 60-foot range is in its favor, right?
Sure. I like the
Sadistic nature of it.
yeah, the let your enemy choose the form of his destruction.
Yeah, which
nature.
is just giant strategic disadvantage for no particularly strong reason most of the time.
Yes. But one that I enjoy.
Sure, that's fair.
All right. We have Mind Sliver.
I think this deserves a B as well. I'm not like all the damaging cantrips can't be that good. They're still damaging cantrips. You still often have better things to do with your actions past like 3rd level. That being said, I do see there being a reality where sorcerers are quickening this or quickening a higher level spell and using this to set it up. I can see there being real realities where you're just chaining these at levels 1 and 2 because it helps set up the subsequent ones, or you're desperate, you need this wizard's feeble mind, for example, to work on the 33 int lich. So you go, well, the best I can help with, I'll throw out a mind sliver. Maybe we can get a d6 or a d4 subtracted for the next save. Maybe that lines this up and works and helps it hit. I think there's going to be actual instances in upper tier play where it gets cast, and for a damaging cantrip, that bumps it out of C tier to me.
Yeah. It's got my requirements. Does some damage and additional effects. Mind Spike.
So this one got uniquely buffed because of its school, which is weird. So it's a divination spell, and Mind Spike is Mind Spike's 2nd level divination spell. It does 3d8 psychic damage, and then if the thing fails to save, its location and some other worthless crap, right? So normally I'd be like, this is trash. This is way lower than most damaging spells need to be for this kind of effect. I'm not going to like invest that much into it. Their School of Divination. However, there is a feature called Expert Divination that the diviners get that says beginning at 6th level, casting divination spells come so easily that you get refunds. Whenever you cast a divination spell of 2nd level or higher, you gain 1 expended spell slot that's lower level than it. So you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
use Mind Spikes to refund, like you can upcast a Mind Spike as a 3rd level slot, refunding a 2nd level slot. You can then use a 2nd level slot to cast a Mind Spike, refunding a 1st level slot. And all of a sudden, the cost on this thing is just tiny. And it's a whole build around using Mind Spike as your main damaging source that's just like spending your highest level slots and like cascading them down as you just have this huge wealth and pool of resources. It's neat. Now, that doesn't save it from C tier, but it is
Okay.
neat.
I was gonna say, is that really weighing into your ranking here?
Yeah, it is. Because otherwise, I'd give this a D.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was thinking D. This spell is unique to me in that I think I'd like it better without the damage. I could find more applicable uses for it.
So
If
you just like
cats on an ally, I'll
basically
always
stick a
know where they
parasite
are.
in an enemy mind that's escaping or whatever, and you can follow them around. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But now you might just randomly kill Joe, and then you're sad because you
Exactly.
wanted to follow him back to camp.
And he definitely knows he's been mind spiked.
Yeah. The thing is, like, that effect Hunter's Mark exists and just does that.
I remember the video we did on Mind Spike. That was fun. You should go watch it,
Yeah, it's cool.
viewers at home. All right, we got 2 Phantasmals next. First is Phantasmal Force.
Oh, one of these is trash. I'm pretty sure this is the one that's trash. Phantasmal Force. So, Phantasmal Force is a 2nd level illusion that you can have the illusion do a d6 damage to the target to make it think it's real. And the whole idea is like you're putting this quasi-real illusion in something's brain and trying to get it to take actions. I loved this spell. I have played with this spell. The effectiveness of it is suspect. It is a kind of illusion, like it includes sounds, temperatures, other stimuli to make the creature perceive it as real more often. If you're the kind of person that really loves digging into illusion magic, I think this is probably a decent option for you to pursue. It's just not as flexible as silent image or major image because only one thing sees it, right? You can't do quite the grandiose schemes with this, but you can get a lot more consistent belief out of one creature with it. Where this fits on the chart then, because if you're not doing cool, very creative illusory stuff with this, it is uncastable, like most of the illusion stuff is, right? You kind of are in this, I don't know, I feel like I'm in an awkward spot with this thing. I would say it deserves a C, because I don't think it's better than good illusion magic, but it's fine illusion magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really have any opinions on this. It's like I know I kind of have a grasp on how to deal with normal illusion magic. You know, like, all right, I'm gonna paint a big, Wile E. Coyote hole on the side of this wall. But I don't know what to do with Phantasmal Force.
I feel like the more we have these videos, the more I recognize how much Looney Tunes was part of your childhood. Element of Bob's personality came deep from there was an awakening moment when he saw Bugs Bunny in that dress, and he's never moved back from there.
Still my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Phantasmal Killer.
This is the one. Okay, so this is a 4th level illusion. The target makes a whiz save. On a failed save, it becomes frightened. At the end of each of its turns, it has to succeed on another wisdom saving throw, or it starts to take damage. And if it ever succeeds, the spell ends outright. This thing's uncastable trash. This is an F tier spell. You need it to pass a save. You need to fail a save to fear it. Then you need to fail an additional save for it to take any damage at all, and it's a 4th level slot. Nope. This just is not functional. Pass. Don't want. 0 out of 10. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
All right, no arguments here. All right, now where are you going to put this one? Psychic Scream.
I like this thing. It's so aggressively fair. For a 9th level spell, Psychic Scream is... It's a lot, but it does give you a cool effect. 14d6 damage is kind of enough damage because it's also stable to area effect stuns, and of course, you love it because...
Heads explode.
Their heads explode. I think this deserves a solid C, honestly. It's a really par for the course. You'll take it. It'll be fine, kind of 9th level spell, but it's not close to Wish. I don't even think it's pretty close to Meteor Swarm. I think there are more powerful versions of 9th level effects that do damage. This one just happens to be a convenient package of stun and blow up some meds and deal some damage. It's all fine.
You said C?
Yeah.
Ah,
It's a 9th level spell, Bob.
yeah, I
Look at its
know.
competition.
But
Maybe it gets a
there's
B. We'll
there.
come back to it.
Yeah. If we run out of room in C here, I'm gonna move that.
You're gonna promote it? Okay.
All right. There's no other spell in the game that literally makes heads explode.
Fireball would probably make someone's head explode if you did it correctly.
It is not in the text of the spell.
Sure.
All right, Raulythm's Psychic Lance.
This one looks deeply silly. It really feels
Yeah,
like it's
it
from an edition of old, and I deeply love it because it makes like you put your fingers in your forehead and shoot the beam. It's great.
Or you just know somebody's name and that somehow
If you're
does the same
lame.
thing. Yes.
So if thing makes an in save or takes 76 psychic damage, is incapacitated for a round. This for a 4th level slot where like we just talked about Phantasmal Killer being actually uncastable. This does the damage up front, always does half on a failed save, and has a way better condition of incapacitation over fear. This is a fantastic little B of a spell. I like Psychic Lance a lot. I think like if you're looking to do some mind-blowing uppy things, this is a really easy option to consider, just because all of the text matters. You won't even feel bad if the thing passes the save. You'll get something out of it. I'm a big fan.
All right. Yeah, it's cool. It's no Psychic Scream.
Would
All
you really
right,
call a giant pink laser from your forehead cool?
I mean, it's kind of cool.
Kind of cool? All right, sure. I think it's unbelievably dorky, but I do love it.
How about Shadow Blade?
Uh,
I don't even remember what that does, except
there's a lot of blade
unless it does
spells.
the very obvious.
Yeah, so it's a bonus action. It gives you a sword that does 2d8 psychic damage on hit, and is finesse, and is light, and has threat property 20/60. And then when you upcast it, the damage increases, and then if you use higher level slots, it keeps going up to like 48, 5d8. The thing with this is you would want it on a warlock, so you could use it with multi-attack, but you have packed weapons that you already want to be kind of using for the multi-attack, right? Like you don't want to necessarily substitute your pack weapon for a shadow blade. Which leaves this as maybe it's a blade singer thing, and you want to replace this using a 5th level slot to be like, all right, this is how I'm doing 48 damage per hit. That could be something. I don't think it's particularly compelling on almost any build. Like I think you're gonna have better options by just using regular weapons, or at least decent enough time using regular weapons. So I think it's gonna comfortably land this a D.
What about a second attack, like or, 2-weapon fighting kind of thing?
It is light, so you could have it in your
Yeah.
offhand. That's cute. I don't know if I want to commit a 4th level or a 2nd level or higher slot to my offhand attack. Whatever, I could just use a dagger or something. But sure,
Well, this does more than a dagger.
it does more than a dagger.
That's the
That's
appeal.
true. Yes, but the cost is pretty high on it, right? The cost
Yeah.
is spell slots. And like maybe again you're like a blade singer doing 2-up fighting stuff. That would be where I would think about doing this. Warlock doing 2-up fighting stuff. That sounds kind of cool. You've got like a long or a short sword, placked blade, shadow blade offhand, or then you would still rather use this with the main hand for the extra attack damage. It's clunky. I don't love it. Although you can do some neat stuff with it. I think D seems fair, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Like there's like if you the moment we get a magic weapon, I want to use the magic weapon, right?
Sure.
And then Shadow Blade looks terrible.
What level is this? You said 2?
It's a 2nd level for 2d8 damage. It's 3d8 damage for a 3rd or 4th slot, and then it goes up every 2 levels from there.
I'm not thinking about upcasting this.
Oh, it's just 2nd level. I think it's actually terrible. Like it's just a worse version of most weapons. I think you have to upcast this with extra attack for it to start being worth anything.
All right. Speaking of your favorites, we got a Staggering Smite.
F tier. I don't remember what it does, but it's going at F tier. So this is 46 psychic damage with the smite text, and it makes a whiz save or has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the end of its next turn. This is a worse divine smite.
Yeah.
So the problem, I think I only talk about it once for this video.
Well,
the problem
we talked about smites. Yeah.
Yes, the problem with this with all smites is they compete with Divine Smite if they're not 5th level, and this is 4th level, so it's compete with Divine Smite. They do less damage than Divine Smite. They take your concentration, and they take your bonus action. So there's like 6 extra layers of just worse qualities of this than a thing you can always do for free. like you have to preload this in. So like let's say you would hit something and kill it, or you would you divine smite something and kill it. You still have this, or you would. There are windows in which you miss your attacks. This thing stays up. The thing dies. You're like, I don't really care about staggering this other thing. Maybe you lose concentration in between them. They're clunkier than they read. I'm never happy to have them on my sheet. Just use your basic, whatever you're competing with the base feature, you have done something wrong. So staggering smite, F tier, don't put it on your sheet.
What is the effect that staggering smite does?
Disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks for a round.
Ah, yeah. All right, no thanks. All right, moving on. We have summon apparition.
Easy A tier.
All right, good.
The summon spells, they're always gonna get high rating from me. So what you actually should spend your concentration on is these things. Apparitions, so you get an hour-long concentration, you get this buddy, the buddy has its turn after yours, you command it as a bonus action, otherwise it just kind of stands around. That's what all these say, right? Probably.
Something like
you
that.
you pick Beholder Slot or Star Spawn whenever you summon it, and then it does cool things. Yeah, if you don't issue any commands, it takes dodge action. Easy peasy. It basically, oh, never mind. No action required by you. You just yell at it, and it'll do whatever you tell it. So you're gonna spend bonus actions on this. Love that. The different modes, though, for between Starspawn, Slod, and Beholderkin. Beholderkin kind of just shoots stuff at a range. Starspawn, a giant aerially fears. You got the Slod, which regenerate. There's a lot of cool different abilities in here. It's a summon. It's great. You're gonna have a good time with this if you put it on your sheet.
The Beholderkin, you can ride that, right?
It's medium, so if you're small, yes, you can float around on your Beholderkin.
Okay.
Just be Bob. You can be a race other than human. You can play a halfling or a gnome or a kobold or a goblin.
I want to be a human riding a Beholderkin.
Okay. I'm just saying, you gotta be a small human, though. I think that variant is coming. I think you can be a small human in the near future. But cool. Until then.
All right. Another summon. We have Summon Draconic Spirit.
Another A tier. Thing is really good. It's probably better than Aberration, but it's close because this gets a breath weapon that it gets to fire off every round as part of its attacks. It makes multi-attack as you upcast it. It's a 5th level slot, but it also is like a friggin' dragon that's large that even medium creatures can ride around on. Like there's a lot going for Summon Draconic Spirit.
But it is, you just get one thing. At least with Summon Aberration, you get a choice.
I mean, you get to pick the damage type. So if you want to do Psychic, you get to pick the right color. But yeah, you get a more variety with Summon Aberration. That's definitely true.
All right, Synaptic Static.
So, if memory serves, Static is like a giant area effect of mind fuzziness. It's a 5th level slot, 20-foot radius sphere, 86 psychic damage on a failed save. And then it has muddled thoughts. It subtracts a d4 from attack and ability checks, as well as constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. That's pretty good.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that stacks with advantage and disadvantage is generally speaking pretty powerful. And this is an extra layer on top of that. It's doing enough damage for a slot whenever it has this kind of condition attached to it. This seems like a solid B to me. It's an instantaneous duration. It also, like, the effect lasts a minute but doesn't take concentration, and they just get to save out of it. But having anything that lasts duration without concentration is usually a sign that it's going to be pretty powerful.
All right. Now, I understand you don't want to put this on the same level as the summons, but I feel like there's an argument to be made that this is distinctly better than the rest of the B tiers, and maybe the summon should move up to S so this could move up to A. But we can save that for the end of the video.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I like Synaptic Static a lot.
Solid little effect.
All right, Tasha's Mind Whip.
This is what I think a lot of people like. It is 2nd level cast time is 90-foot range. It's 3d6 psychic damage if something fails a save, and it can't take reaction till the end of your next turn. And then moreover, on its next turn, it chooses to either get to move, take an action, or take a bonus action. So if we compare it to Dissonant Whispers, which is a 1st level slot, I think it's a little bit worse, but it's kind of close. Makes a save, it gets one of those 3 things. If it fails, half damage on success is pretty good. The other thing is you can upcast it to multi-target. So if it starts at 2nd level, one thing, 3rd level is another, 4th is a 3rd, etc., etc.
I like that. I think that's I think it's a good spell.
It's fine. Like, be good.
I think it's be good, but again, I don't feel like it's on the same level as Synaptic Static. But
I'm not that high on Synaptic Static, but again, we'll touch back on it whenever we finish things out. Let's just
Yep.
stick it in B right now. Just a good
Right.
spell for your character sheet category.
All right. We all know this is one of my favorites, Vicious Mockery.
Right into A tier. I love this thing.
Yes.
It's funny.
I don't know if it deserves that, but it's going there.
Yeah, agreed. It's funny. It's really fun to play with. It actually does have a meaningful effect. And again, on bards specifically, I really want this kind of thing as of an action, right? If I need to fall back on this in the low tiers, I'm really happy to do that. There will be times in the upper tiers you cast it because you have to say something mean to the villain. You have to make a joke at your action's expense, and it'll be so worth it when you do, and everyone laughs. I love Vicious Mockery. It's a great little effect. And even like in the realm of power gaming, it's probably around Mind Sliver's power level, but it's got the bonus points for just being really fun.
Yes. That counts. This
Mhm.
is part of the game that makes me have fun. And that's what I want from a
It's
game.
our list, Bob. We put these where we want.
Yes, yes. Yes, and you can go look out all my Vicious Mockery videos.
They're
this
really
channel.
funny.
All right. Ooh. Next we have Weird.
Easiest F tier of the
Yes.
game. Weird isn't
I don't
weird.
know if it's the easiest, but it's the easiest F tier of this of this video.
True. This is a 9th level spell. Each creature in a 30-foot radius sphere makes a whiz save. They are frightened for the duration if they fail to save, and then at the end of each creature's turns, it makes a whiz save or takes 40/10 psychic damage, which sounds very similar to another F tier spell above this. That is a 4th level spell. Like, Phantasmal Killer compares so much better to Weird, and it's 5 levels cheaper, and it's still an F. And this is unforgivably bad. This effect is just way, way, way overcosted. You can put this thing at 3rd level and it'd be interesting. It's 9th level. And it's weird, and it's not weird.
That is 9th level. And the biggest offense is that it doesn't do anything freaking weird.
Nothing weird at all. It's a frightened effect, stable to 40/10 damage. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
Game.
I want to love a spell called Weird. It's like I have worked my way to having 9th level spells just so I can finally get whatever this thing is called Weird. Only to find out that it's just lame and sucks.
You should just cast Fear, is what it comes down to. You should
Yeah.
just spend a 3rd level slot on a better hit area of better Fear condition, I guess.
Oh, just they really do not nail these, other things like random effects, like wild magic kind of stuff. They don't really deliver on it. Like put Weird in the same category there. The fantasy is not delivered on.
The first one where they hit the mark is in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, which is a long ass time for them to be missing the mark. And it's the one that make butterflies or water squirt out. It's the trickery one. There's like the prankster.
Nathar's.
Yeah, Nethier's Mischief, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. ISFL does actually a good job at delivering on the whimsical random fantasy. Now it's only a D4, but hey, it's way better than this or like Chaos Bolt or any of that crap.
All right, and our last one today, we have Wrathful Smite.
You have to bump Staggering Smite up to D tier because this is the actual F tier Smite.
So you want to put Staggering Smite up to D?
I do, because it does something, and this is just a worse. So this is a D6 psychic damage with the Smite problems. And if it's a creature, it then, assuming you hit it, makes a whiz saving throw or is frightened of you on a class that has a worse save DC than normal. Awful. Atrocious. Just smite it. Don't use Wrathful Smite for your bonus action and concentration, all the other hoops you're going to put through. Ugh. True trash.
What level is this one?
First level.
First level? I mean, if you care about the fear.
No. I don't want to spend my bonus action to enchant my weapon to have me need to hit it so that I do less damage, and then it gets a save, and then if it passes the save, nothing happens, and if it fails the save, it's frightened. No. Hard pass. Yeah. Frightening is not that good. It's good, it's not that good.
Yeah. It's it's no fear.
No.
All right, well that was it.
All right, we can do the split that you like. I don't mind moving Synaptic. I want Ralotham, Psychic Lance, and Synaptic Static in A, I think. And this rest in S.
You want to put, the summons, you want to keep Vicious Mockery in S?
I do. I mean, we shouldn't, but I do want to put it in S tier.
Why am I arguing this?
Yeah.
All right, synaptic static and what
Static is.
which one?
I think Rolutham Psychic Glance definitely gets A tier. I like that thing a lot.
Okay. All right,
I'm having a hard
pretty big
time
spread here.
seeing. I'm having a hard time seeing Synaptic Static as an A tier spell. It's
Oh, are you?
fine.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That was the one I would have put up there.
I also definitely think Dissonant Whispers is better than everything in B tier. It's just cheaper. And cheaper first level slots that do a powerful conditional effect seem decent to me.
So you put that in A?
No, it definitely doesn't deserve
No.
A. I like this. This will work.
Kind of want to move Psychic Stream up, but yeah, it is a nice
Sure,
level.
Psychic Scream can be a B. That's fine.
All right, good.
I do think it's like better than Maddening Darkness most of the time. I'd rather cast it than Mental Prison. I guess it's a ninth level spell. I need to be able to want to cast it more than lower level versions, but
all right. Well, that's our rankings. I don't know, we weren't sure about a lot of these, so I'm sure the commenters will let us know their objections. Looking
I do
forward
think
to reading your comments. Yes.
I like that this has psychic damage has a good spread and a good chunk of just decent options. Like where there are a lot of damage options where I'm like, oh, poor poison, oh, poor acid. This is like, no, you get some actual cool effects. There's a variety here. There's area of effect damage, there's instantaneous damage, there's condition-based stuff, there's non-condition based stuff. There's a little bit of psychic for everybody. I like it.
Yeah. All right, that was our psychic damage spell rankings. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Sam, for being here, and leave your comments down below and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.